Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, once again on Stars on Spotlight. We've got a very special guest today, all the way from Oregon in the United States. And I'll be telling you a bit more about her in a minute. But if you want to be on Stars on Spotlight, guys, you're missing your opportunity. There's 5 spots left. So get in now if you can after you see this recording. Make a booking yourself. The links will be in the chat. And you remember, it's $30,000 for a TV commercial. It's probably $5,000 or $10,000 for 15 or 20 radio spots. You can come on Stars on Spotlight, guys, where it's all about you, your whole journey, where you've been, how you're helping people, what you can do for people. And we put that across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can do the same, and we'll reach thousands of people throughout the world and help spread your message. So if you want to be on Stars on Spotlights, like this post, and don't forget, guys, to comment. And we'd love to see you on the show. But meanwhile, I'm going to start to introduce my guest. I'll tell you a bit about her. Her name is 𝐒𝐢𝐚𝐧𝐚, and her current title is Adoptee Support Consultant. And the name of the company, Relative Peace LLC, right? And the industry is adoption, family reunification, and personal growth. She's only been doing this for a little time. She's only been doing this for 40 plus years. So it's obviously a passion. So guys, as Relative Peace guides adult adoptees to achieve deeper understanding of their identity and heritage, because many struggle with belonging, self-worth, and relationships are adoption related. Isn't that so true? So she helps adoptees to manage the unique stresses that come with adoptive experiences, enhance their communication, interpersonal skills, transform relationships with both adoptive and biological families, providing structured guidance for reconnecting with relatives, while managing emotional and logistical complexities, right? And there's a bit more to this, guys, but I'm going to let Diana tell you in a moment. And also, over key achievements, over 40 years supporting adoptees and their relationships, various adoptees, advocacy projects around equal rights, good housekeeping article on my reunion. And Diana was telling me she's got a TV show coming up, guys, so keep an eye out for that. But it's my great pleasure. Good evening, Diana. How are you?
I am so pleased to be here, Jeff. Thank you for having me, and thanks for the introduction.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue this current interesting career path.
Yeah, well, I started as being adopted, and that has led me to really value information and access to information all of my life. And because of that, I became a librarian, and that really influenced me to have access to information because I didn't have access to my own personal information. And so I love being a librarian. I was a librarian in China, also taught English there, and have been librarians for universities, colleges, and high school. And during the pandemic, I was laid off from my library position. And that's when I started to pursue helping adoptees reunite with their biological family and just integrate.
Yeah, so you pivoted. So it's obviously probably God stepped in. It's obviously probably a good thing that happened, actually. You'd probably still be at the library. Tell me, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that?
The most challenging aspect of my work is just being able to communicate openly about adoption issues. They often get in the mainstream, it's always about the rainbows and unicorns, happy reunion families. Stories, happy, everything is happy. And there's a lot of complexity, and there's a lot of sorrow, because every adoption, no matter if they end up really great, like mine has been, but it starts with the trauma. It starts with being separated from family.
Yeah, and I guess questions like why?
Right,
yeah.
Right. And we often ignore that part. And so to have those conversations just openly without having people get defensive is challenging sometimes.
Fair enough. Tell us about an important moment in your career that changed the direction in what you were going. I guess it was COVID in your case.
It was COVID actually, and so losing my position in the library, I initially thought I was going to become a pet photographer.
Right, or flip burgers at McDonald's or something. Yeah.
No, I've been shooting my friends and family,
Oh, lovely.
their pets and equines, and I've been involved in the working equitation world quite a
Nice.
bit and taking photos.
Yes.
Then I got my job back.
Oh, really?
And yes, I got my job back, but because of COVID, the library was still very slow. We didn't have very many
Sure.
students there. So while I was there, I started to
Do some more
just
research.
explore the online courses that you could take and connect with people all around the world.
Yes.
And I got involved with some coaching and consulting. And I have always been an advocate for adoptees. And it just seemed that that was an area that,
Follow through.
especially because of DNA
Yeah.
testing and some of the secrets that people thought would stay secret forever coming
Yes.
to light, it seemed like a good time to just help people navigate those
Yeah, you're doing
surprising
an
relationships.
awesome thing. In your opinion, what are the key qualities and the skills that have contributed to your success? Obviously, it's one is determination to never give up. What else do you think has contributed to your success along the years?
Having been an adopted person and having two siblings, older brothers who were not
Wow.
adopted, and a younger sister who was also adopted but not biologically related. I
Right.
have been in this space and have helped adoptive parents talk about transracial adoption. I've talked with other adoptees and helped them feel less alone, feel less abandoned. And so experience and empathy and my librarian and research abilities have been very
Yeah,
helpful.
you must have some awesome stories coming up for your show, because I can imagine some of these people, like reunions and that type of thing, after many, many years of, like I say, not
Yes.
knowing their brothers and sisters, and sometimes not even knowing their biological mother, all those sort of things. I mean, it's an awesome job that you're doing. Tell me a recent project or achievement, if you can, that you're particularly proud of.
Well, I believe that this television show, Adopted: The Truth About Family, stories of adoption, foster care, and belonging, which will come out this fall, is going to really open up the dialogue around
Yes.
adopting
Yeah,
issues.
big
And
time.
I think that's a good thing. I'm really hoping to add more accountability and transparency to the adoption.
Yeah, we
industry.
might get a big shock. I mean, it might, like you say, it might really open up the topic, isn't it? Big time.
Yes, and I'm
And,
hoping that families will be open to connecting
well, I'm
with
sure they
the
will. And there's,
surprise siblings. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I think, I'm sure a lot of women are going to come forward and say, well, I've never told anyone this, but, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll hear a whole story from, and the happy endings and all that sort of stuff, in most cases, which is wonderful. Tell me, what advice would you give someone aspiring to follow in your footsteps and help people the way you have?
Well, I would really encourage is, especially if you have a connection to adoption, that this would be an area that we could use more support so that those birth mothers who may have been frightened or ashamed to come forward feel
Yes.
supported. And the adoptees who might not feel like they can talk about these issues, because sometimes it feels like a betrayal to our parents
Yeah,
if we're
sure.
going to go search. But I would definitely, it's so valuable and so rewarding to help in this field, and there aren't a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, people don't realize that the stigma that was attached to this. Look, you're almost back in the day, we're older generation, but back in the day, you're almost burnt at the stake. Like it was, swept under the table. It was, almost like, wow, you're a single mother.
Right.
These days it's very accepted because it's sort of the norm now. Whereas back in those days, it wasn't the norm. It was sort of like, oh, pack her off to Auntie Anne so that nobody knows. When she has the baby, nobody will know. That type of thing was very, very common, right?
Yes, and that happened with my birth mother. She
Yes.
had had fallen in love with a Black man in the 60s.
Wow, even worse. And at that time, you know.
They were going to be married, and
Yes.
then her parents weren't supportive of that. And so
Yes.
he kind of stepped away. And so she had not told her sons about my existence. So I was a surprise to them, and they were lovely humans and just said, Mom, we don't care if you have 3 children or 3,000 children. We love you. And they've been supportive. So that's
an awesome result for you. And I hope you get many,
Yes.
many more results for others. Tell me, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future? Please, Diana.
Well, I would hope that the future of adoption would be adoptee centered, more around our rights and what is best in the best interests of the child.
Yes.
And that includes adding increased accountability and transparency to the adoption industry, because in Australia, in the UK, in Korea, there have been all sorts of practices that have basically, it's been child trafficking, where babies have been stolen. And so I'm really hoping that the future we will be more honest and open and can have dialogues and relationships, and not feel like we're having to give up one family in order to have another family be part of our lives. And I've been so supportive with my mom, my biological mom, and my stepmom. My fathers have passed away, but I would just like to expand that sense of family to be more inclusive.
You're doing
and take that stigma away that you said, Jeff. Well,
you're doing a wonderful job. There should be more of you. And like I say, this TV show of yours is going to open up an amazing opportunities, and hopefully the governments of the world too will come and play the part too, and open up the records and let things be much more transparent than what they have been in the past.
Yes.
Tell me, how can our listeners reach out and find out more about this interesting subject? Where can they find you?
Well, if they want to contact me directly, they could just email me at diana@adoptedtvshow.com. And that's Diana, Diana, just one N.
Yes.
At adoptedtvshow.com. I have a website of relativepeace.com, and that's RELATIVEPEACE.
Yeah, we'll be putting all your socials after this interview. Great. We'll be putting all your socials on our YouTube channel underneath it. So, guys, if you want to reach out to Diana and find out more, or how you can help, or how you can get involved, or learn a bit more about it, I'm sure Diana's up for a virtual cup of coffee anytime. So please reach out to us. It's been a very interesting lady on this subject. Tell me, before we wrap this up, tell us a fun fact about yourself. Apart from the fact you're an adoptee, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Well, I don't know if people around the world follow the NCAA men's basketball brackets very much, but it's a big thing in the United States. In March, they have March Madness. And in 2011, I was one of 3 million people, the only one of 3 million people that had the final 4 teams correct in the men's bracket, because it was a year that no 1 or 2 seeds went through. And my choosing those teams was based on their mascots and the colors and their numbers.
Right, so it was a bit of luck.
It was a lot of luck. I've been a lucky person over
That's awesome.
Years. Thank you.
I want to thank you today for being on the show, Diana. And guys, if you want to be on Stars on Spotlight, like I said, there are 7 spots left. We're wrapping it up at the end of this month. And I think we're on about the 23rd of July today. I haven't got my calendar in front of me. So there's only a few days left. So reach out. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you'd like to be on the show and spread the word, just like Diana's done today, and spread your message to the world, we'd love to have you on the show. Any last words, please, Diana?
Well, I just really thank you for this time, Jeff, and this opportunity. And I do hope that people will reach out to me, and maybe they want to be a guest on the show. I'd love an international audience and international guests on the TV show. Thank you.
Thank you very much.